Hi guys, and welcome to another video. For those who are new here, hi, my name is Guadalupe and I am a flight attendant for a domestic carrier. Today's video is going to be about flight anxiety, phobias of flight, fear of flying, basically anything that has to do with being a nervous flyer. So for those of you who want to know my tips for you guys, please keep watching. Don't forget to give it a like if you find this video helpful. So without further ado, let's start. For those of you who struggle with flight anxiety, know that what you are feeling is valid. Your feelings are valid. You are okay to feel however you want to feel. And I think acknowledging your feelings is the first step, because now you are open to, okay, so what can I do now to help how I'm feeling? So acknowledge your feeling and let's move forward to these 7 tips that hopefully will help you next flight. So I did want to start off by saying that flying is actually one of the safest ways of transportation. So I know that sounds crazy, but statistics show that flying is safer than driving a vehicle. Flying is so safe, you guys. The airplanes are built to withstand so much. Thousands of flights go out in one day. So many flights. As we are speaking, there are so many planes in the sky right now. Everybody's flying. Everybody goes to and from their destination safely. This is not to say that there aren't any accidents every blue moon, but for the most part, flying is so safe. Also, flight crew is trained for all sorts of events. Flight crew goes through rigorous training annually, and we go over everything. We go over evacuations, we go over medical equipment. Pilots have simulators in case anything were to go wrong. So we are trained yearly per Federal Aviation Administration standards. So your flight crew is very knowledgeable. I trust my flight crew, if anything were to go wrong, that they would know what to do, that we would all be okay. I've been flying for almost 5 years. I'll have my 5-year anniversary in August. But within all my 5 years, it has never been one day where I have felt unsafe. I trust the planes. There's so much behind the scenes that goes on every time a flight is about to take off, from maintenance to safety checks to security checks. There's so much behind the scenes that a normal person traveling does not see. But flying, we go through so many safety measures before the plane even takes off. So we are starting off the tips with number 1, I would say, is be early. Come early to the airport. Those of us who travel often know that the whole airport experience can be stressful, especially if you're running late. If you're on time, you're already late, especially if you have a bag to check. So if you come early to the airport, you're avoiding all of that unnecessary stress. You're coming already in a calming presence. You know you're on time. You know you have all the time in the world. If you need to use the bathroom, if you want to grab a coffee, if you want to go buy a book, if you want to go look at duty free, you come early and you have your mind at peace, knowing that you are early for your flight. You're not rushing. You're not out of breath. Your blood pressure is through the roof because you might miss your flight. You're coming early, relaxed. And that's a good way to start your trip if you are a nervous flyer. Tip number 2 would be to tell your flight crew. I cannot stress this enough, to tell the flight attendants right away that you get nervous, that you get scared, that you have flight anxiety, whatever the case may be. Once you tell your flight crew, we can check up on you throughout the flight. We can provide a more comforting experience. So when a passenger does tell me that they are a nervous flyer, I tend to give them alcohol. Usually that helps. So I know wine usually puts people to sleep, so I feel like that would be ideal. Maybe have a glass of wine during the flight or before you board. that usually like puts your nerves at ease. You're kind of already winded down. But yeah, definitely let your flight crew know, because I be handing out alcohol. So before each flight, the flight crew does have a briefing with the pilots. The pilots let us know how the flight is going to be, if there's going to be any turbulence, if there are going to be any delays. And anything that may happen is in the briefing. So if we know this information ahead of time and we know you are a nervous flyer, we can give you a heads up like, hey, just to let you know, in 30 minutes, the pilot says we're going to go through some turbulence. Nothing to worry about. It's just a little rough air. Most of the time, turbulence, you guys, is rough air. It can be weather. We could be going through a cloud. It could be change in the temperature. But most of the time, turbulence is nothing to be scared of. It's almost, I guess you could compare it to driving on the road and there's uneven pavement. You go through a little patch, but everything's gonna be okay. All right, tip number 3, a calming essential oil. So this is more of a natural remedy. There are so many essential oils in the market right now, and there's an essential oil essentially for everything. I've had coworkers share with me their essential oils that help with nausea. So I tend to get nausea during turbulence, and having that essential oil, either you rub it behind your ear or on your wrist, and you can smell it throughout the flight. And that really helps me. And I know that there are calming essential oils, and that could possibly be something more organic for you to consider. So tip number 4, to bring something that brings you comfort. So something that's comforting. So this could be your boyfriend's sweater, your dog's favorite toy, your mom's necklace, anything that brings you comfort. Maybe it's an old teddy bear from when you were little. I feel like having something that's gonna make you feel safe could really help you during flight. So tip number 5 would be listening to peaceful, relaxing music during takeoff and landing. So I know a lot of people fear this stage in particular of flying. Because of the fear of the unknown, it's more of an intense feeling. Once you're at cruise altitude, besides turbulence, it's a pretty smooth ride. So I know takeoff and landing can be pretty stressful for people. So listening to peaceful, relaxing music or a calming podcast, that could help put your mind at ease, have you in a more relaxed state. Tip number 6, a distraction. So by distraction, I mean watching an action movie, watching a drama, listening to your favorite music. I know one time when I was working, I was flying with a pilot, and he made an announcement that for the first hour of the flight, we were going to experience some turbulence. It was very light turbulence. It basically wasn't any turbulence, but he made an announcement to warn people that the seatbelt sign was going to stay on, basically don't get up. And he said, we're going to experience some turbulence for the first hour of the flight. So watch your favorite action movie so you can have a real 3D experience. And to me, I was like, that is such a good idea. You don't have to think of turbulence as this big, scary thing, because it honestly isn't. You are very safe, and there's going to be turbulence. Watching that action movie, or watching a movie to distract you, reading a book to distract you, listening to heavy metal and going like, ah, with the turbulence. Just anything that's going to distract you from your mind racing into... Your mind has such power. Your mind can literally play scenarios in your head that would never even happen. Something to distract your mind from even going there and scaring you, right? So you are in control. Your feelings are valid, but we are going to create a safer way, a safer, happier way of viewing flying, right? Okay. And this is the last tip. So tip number 7, to be aware of the loud sounds on planes and that it is normal. So again, for takeoff and landing, planes are very loud. They're carrying so many bags, like the weight of the plane within itself is going to make a loud sound when it lands. when it rolls, when it breaks. These sounds are all normal. So knowing and recognizing that this massive, powerful, safe plane is getting you from point A to point B safely. It's massive, it's loud and in charge, so safe, it's protecting you. But all of these sounds are nothing to worry about. Like I stated before, these planes are built to withstand so much. Just knowing that, so you do not get frightened by the sounds. And that is the end of today's video. Those are my 7 tips. Hopefully will help you feel more confident and comfortable on your next flight. If you found these tips helpful, don't forget to give the video a thumbs up. Please subscribe if you haven't already. And again, if you guys have any other tips that you would love to share or you think could help someone else out, leave them in the comments. Trying to help each other enjoy the travel experience, because traveling is so much fun. And I feel like flying is an experience within itself, and it adds to the whole travel adventure. You know, being able to sit next to your friend, trying out the new foods if you're going international, having little beverages on the plane, watching a movie together. I feel like it's just such an experience, and to be able to fly definitely in a better state of mind and relaxation is what we strive for. We want to have a good flying experience. We want to feel safe, we want to feel protected, and we want to have fun. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.